Hispanics causing panic. I'm glad to be here.
Shout out to Hispanics causing panics.
Shout out to Hispanics causing panics.
But right now, Hispanics are causing panic.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
folks, Hispanics are causing panic.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Monday Night.
The one and only.
The baddest man on the planet.
That's right, baby. Welcome, everyone, to HCP Monday Night Uncensored. I'm your host, Mr. Monday Night, G Funky, joined as always by my co-host, D Style Boxing. What's going on, brother?
What's going on? Who's down with HCP? Everybody, like I just said on Mano a Mano, we packed our shit from Wednesdays. A good run on Wednesdays. I mean, HCP in general just started on Wednesday when it was just a show, and now here we are. Now we retired from Wednesdays. Not to say we won't go back one day. Who knows, right? But as of right now, Chief Funky had some work changes, so we say, you know what? We looked at it and we said Monday night's the way to go. Then let's go to Monday nights. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, we had to do it. The Monday Night Wars have begun. And, we're all ready, man. We are cocked and loaded for this one. Yep. Again, make sure if you're new to the channel, you subscribe, hit that like button, hit the notification bell. This way, every time that we're live, every Monday night, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, right here on G Funky Boxing. I want to say what's up to everybody, man. We were doing a little cross promoting here. So sorry for the wait, but I see a lot of people already leaving comments here. And I know everybody's like, let's go. But I see Calix, A-Rod, LT in the house. Hey, what's going on, LT? Run PMC is here. Frank Yeager is in the house, man. I'm glad that everybody's here, man. Again, make sure you hit that like button for me. Don't forget to do that. That's the most important thing, guys. Okay, that helps the channel more than anything. Hitting that like button. Round one is here. My boy, the boxing historian, is here as well. Nando here. Chicano Prophet. Man, I'm loving it, guys. I'm Nopal's here as well. Puerto Rican Rum. Man, we got a nice show lined up for you guys right now. But I just want to say this, man. Like D-Style said, the Wednesday night, we always had an HCP show going Wednesday night, whether it was Mexican Latino Tuesday, which was the original show. The regular HCP podcast was on Wednesdays for a while. Then we went to Tuesday. Now we're here Monday night, and let's get it, baby. All right, so let's do a quick recap of the weekend. The Boxing Lounge is here. I said, what's up, man? Haven't seen you in a while, but what's up, man? We had a lot of fights. We've had some fights on Sunday, bro. Sunday fights. I mean, this is a hardcore's a dream come true. Fights on Saturday, fights on Sunday. Beautiful stuff. So let's start with the Sunday night card, the PBC, which was free. We're going to talk about the one that you had to pay for, too. Right. But what did you think of the fights on yesterday, D-Style?
Yeah, I thought the fights were really, really good. I mean, we saw arguably the knockout of the year and arguably the fight of the year. I mean, you can't go, wrong with that, right? No, and on a Sunday night, when you're least expecting it on free TV, it makes me excited to be a boxing fan when I see that. You know what I mean? Personally. Yeah. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, Morel knocked out Casares, who was a guy that was talking a lot of shit, man. This guy talked a lot of shit, said he was going to punch the freckles off of Canelo. I guess he got a little excited because he made Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. quit. I mean, get in line, buddy. There's a lot of guys that have made this dude quit. So, I mean, you're nothing special by doing that. But yeah, he talked a lot of shit and went out in one fucking round. One round. But
By the way, beautifully set up. By the way, that was a beautiful setup. That knockout.
absolutely, man. And I'm excited for Morrell. There's David Benavidez right there if he wants to get at Benavidez. They're both super middleweights. So that's a good fight. Depending on what Plant does. If we still haven't heard anything about Canelo, any negotiations, at least I haven't heard anything yet. But that's a fight for him as well. At 168, he's a PBC guy. So, let's get this thing on, man. But what did you think about the cruiserweights? Oh, damn, this guy's got a nice.
This goes to the cruiserweights.
Woo, man. Yeah, we had some
Apoche.
Apoche, yeah.
It's Glanton. I was a little surprised. Apoche had actually had a victory over, we just had his most recent opponent that he beat on.
Yeah,
right?
Nicholson, yeah.
Yeah, Nicholson was on with us. So that name kind of stayed with me. So I was watching this fight. They're both undefeated. I mean, look, two prospects undefeated. A lot of people don't really know them like that, but they went out there, and, man, was that a hell of a fight. And I do feel the right man won. There was some controversy with that one punch that hurt Apoche, and it was counted as a knockdown, but I think it hit right at the bell, which is legal. Like, it's not like he hit him after the bell, But it was a hell of a performance, man, and a great fight to watch, and it's not often we watch a free fight like that on free TV. Just imagine someone who just randomly tuned in, and then, this probably reminded them of some old school fights. So I'm glad this fight happened on free TV, and then to get a knockout of the year type fight. That's just like, if you watch that fight, you're like, man, that fight was amazing. I just didn't get a knockout though. Well, you got it right away in the next fight. So
yep.
It's you got everything here, man. Fight of the year candidate, in my opinion.
Yes, good fight. A lot of chingazos, which us Mexicanos, Chicanos, we love that. We love chingazos, man. And there was plenty of them landed and thrown in that fight. And good scrap, man. I was very entertained with the with the card. Rumpy MC here says Glanton is Mikey Garcia's fighter. Yeah, they were talking about that. Even our brother Sonteo Media had mentioned that to us before. Shout out to Sonteo.
Shout out.
JC's in the house. What's going on, man? Yes, man. Good fights. And again, Casares, I'm sorry, man. You talk too much shit. You're writing checks with your mouth that your ass couldn't cash. All right. And you went night. Okay. That vato with Nimi's early. Okay.
yeah. Like, how much meaning has I beat, Chavez Jr. really have now? Like in 2020, 2021, what value does that have,
Right. That carries no weight, man. And I think we see why even dudes that get knocked out in the first round are making Chavez Jr. quit. Like that should tell you all you need to know about that maricon Chavez Jr. All right. But let's move on, man. Saturday night, the zone card. We had Julio Cesar Martinez versus Cordova. Another good fight. Another good, entertaining fight. El Rey gets the win. I'm very excited for this guy, man. I'm very excited. It's time. I think it's time for him to step up to that next division, in my opinion. There's a ton of fights there. There's a ton of fights in that weight class for him, and I'm excited. But before we talk about possible matchups, what did you think of his fight, D-Style?
It was a good, exciting fight. I think a lot of people that don't watch certain weight classes and are used to watching like the traditional weight classes, they don't quite understand that, that they get hit more in these weight classes. And it's not because they're getting hit at a higher percentage. It's because they're throwing more. I don't know if you guys have noticed that they have higher volume. You know what I mean? So that you're going to see them get hit more. But if you look at the percentages at the end of the fight, they're pretty normal. Like they're not like that out there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So good win, solid win. And I would like to see him fight a name that a lot of people recognize, next. Yeah. But they're keeping him busy though, which is always good. But I want to see him fight that Edwards guy again, or his brother is who I want to see him fight.
Good fights, yeah. L-Dub's asking us here, does he clean out 112 before he moves up? I mean, that's difficult to do. We all know how boxing works. Would I like to see him do that? Yeah. But there's so many interesting fights at 115 pounds. And to me, that's one of the most on fire divisions in boxing. And all those dudes get it on, man. Those dudes are fighting down there, and they're fighting multiple times. McWilliams Arroyo, another good fighter there as well. But I mean, look at 115. There's the Japanese guy. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Inoki. I'm not good with the Japanese names.
Well, there's Junto Nakatani is there, an undefeated fighter, southpaw. I like to see him fight him for sure. I think that's the main guy to fight. You know what I mean? There's also a Puerto Rican Angel Acosta there. There's a lot of pretty solid fighters, but he can, there's some guys there, man. There's a Ukrainian there. I forget the guy's name, but there's a Ukrainian there as well who's pretty good. But I think it's fair to say that Julio Cesar Martinez is the Lord of the Flies as of right now. Okay, but if he steps up, though, man, are there a lot of great fights to make at 112? I'm sorry, at 115.
115, yeah.
But now when you step up, and for those that don't think it makes a big difference, we had a guest last week that explained to us that those 3 pounds, 4 pounds make a world of difference. Yep. It may not make a world of difference to a heavyweight or a cruiserweight or even a light heavyweight, but once you start going down in weight, the percentage of the body mass is a lot different. Like every pound carries more weight the lower you go down in weight class, right? So it'll be interesting to see how good Martinez, with that style that's a little aggressive, a little offensive, is going to do when an Aoki hits him clean. You know what I mean? When a Chocolatito hits him clean, when an Estrada hits him clean, Rongazai, Anakajas. Like if those guys hit you clean, if you could take it, he could be a force. If he can't, he's going to have to be he's going to have to find that 2.0. And what I mean by that is alternative style, a little bit like a Marco Antonio Barrera did when he moved up, to be able to fight these guys better. So I think that's what he's going to do if necessary.
Yeah, I agree. And those are all great fights, man. Great fights for Martinez if he moves up. L-Dub says Nakatani and Acosta will fight on the Valdez card in September. Yeah, we'll be looking forward to that, man. I want to see my boy Valdez get back in the ring after his, in what my opinion is still the knockout of the year over Elacran Berchelt. So let's move on from the DAZN card, man. We had,
by the way, Hispanic causing panic of the week. Got 2 fighters, of course. All right.
Yep. So make sure you're there tomorrow.
Yeah. So Julio Cesar Martinez is 1. Okay. And the second guy, of course, is David Morel. Okay. Who is Cuban. You guys tell me who you think, and we'll decide tomorrow who is the official Hispanic causing panic of the week. And do you have any other names to suggest? Go ahead, put them in the chat. Let us know.
Yep. Absolutely, man. So let's switch gears and let's get into the the titles here of the video. The first fight I want to talk about, the first card, basically, ESPN Plus has the return of Lomachenko, or as they called it, Loma Reloaded. Okay. And we're going to talk about this Loma Reloaded after we talk about the fight. Okay. And, I want to say something too, man, not to brag on myself or anything like that, but, I did get every pick right this weekend that I picked, although, and I'll say this, look, I'm not ashamed when I take losses, what up to Black and Brown, in the chat. I did drop some money on Nakatani. Those odds were just too good to not drop a little something, man. Because if he wins,
give that money to charity. But
hey, well, the thing is this, man. I'm playing with house money. I'm playing with a lot of house money, so it doesn't hurt as if I didn't have the house money. But I did drop a little something, and believe me, the return would have been real nice if it happened. But unfortunately, it didn't, because Lomachenko dominated Nakatani in a way that I didn't even think he could dominate him. And in my opinion, I'll say this: Lomachenko looked good, looked sharp. The footwork was there, all that good stuff. He looked like Lomachenko. I didn't really. I'm going to say this: I didn't really learn nothing new here from Lomachenko. his feet were just too fast, in my opinion, for Nakatani. Those angles, I mean, he just couldn't keep up with the footwork of Lomachenko. He was able to get on the side, get under that long jab, and do a lot of damage on Nakatani, snapping his head back. I mean, he was looking like a Pez dispenser in that fight. Lomachenko landing vicious clean shots on him. The referee is forced to stop it, and big win, and a big way to return to the win column for Lomachenko. Now, before I get into the question that's in the title of the video, I want to ask D-Style, give us your thoughts. You stuck your nose out there for Lomachenko. You bet a pie to the face with our brother, the Cuban division of HCP, Raw Boxing TV. Shout out to you, my brother. I know you shared my video. I appreciate that. But a pie to the face for Raw Boxing TV. But let us know your thoughts on the fight, man, and how you thought Lomachenko looked.
I have to be honest. I was not really surprised. In fact, as soon as he hit Nakatani with a straight left, and it bounced Nakatani's head back, like the back of his head almost hit the back of his shoulder blades, I knew it was a wrap. You can't even take the punch like that. The first punch, and Nakatani had like a surprised look in his face. I went from a level 9 of confidence to a level 10 immediately, and I knew the fight was over. Now there was a moment of worry because you saw the blood go down the nose, and I'm like, what the fuck just happened here, right? But first of all, I was impressed with how calm he. And that's a veteran for you. You know what I mean? He didn't panic because there's blood in his face, and he stayed calm in there. And Russ Abner, shout out to him, did a good job with that cut. One of the best cut men in the game. Hope to have him back on the round table soon. Okay, but he handled that cut well, and Loma did even a better job just not getting hit there again. You know what I mean? Now that was it was nobody's fault. They just kind of collided with their heads there. It happens. But at the end of the day, I kind of wish Nakatani would have maybe slapped him down there. Just hope that blood comes out again. You never know. It might trickle down if you hit him with a jab. It gets in his eyes. You never know, right? But Nakatani was just too slow, and that's really what I anticipated. From a distance, Lomachenko was like a fencer, bro. Right? He kind of boxes like a fencer. A fencer does. And Nakatani's throwing one shot at a time. He's throwing a jab, and it's textbook, but it's slow, and it's coming back slow. And while the jab is coming, he misses the jab, and he's bringing it back. Lomachenko's moving inside. Now, he didn't work the body. I don't know if that was because Nakatani had his trunks up to here. You know what I mean? Like, the dude looked like Steve Urkel, bro. I don't know what the hell bring those trunks down, but I think once he punched him and he realized, I don't need to go to the body. He started aiming the eye, but he was still using the inside angles. And when he was kind of backing up is when he would come in and hit him with a hook, hit him with a straight. I mean, he was just two-stepping him all night, and he just couldn't do anything about it. Even if he knew what he was going to do, he couldn't do anything about it. This fight was won with the angles. That's what won the fight for Lomachenko. That's what I expected, and the fight ended by stoppage, just like I expected, because too many people fall in love with performances, G-Funky. They saw him do this amazing comeback against Verdejo, and it was an amazing fight, but they got amnesia, right? He still got knocked down several times. He was still getting hit at will, and what stopped was Nakatani didn't do anything to make him stop hitting him. Verdejo just got tired. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's not going to happen with Lomachenko. And by the way, the way he leverages his shots. And lastly, I'll say this. He's a bona fide lightweight. I don't want to hear he's a featherweight anymore. It's getting old. Yes. It's getting part of the reason I picked him to win is because I know he could hit. He just fought the biggest lightweight out there. So I don't want to hear it anymore. He didn't lose because of size to Teofimo Lopez. Was Lopez in there like grappling him and tossing him around or some shit? No, he was outboxing him, guys. That's why. I still think Teofimo's a bad matchup for him. But we'll touch on that. But I will say, great performance by Lomachenko, vintage Lomachenko. It's not, he hasn't lost a step. He's still the same old Lomachenko. I'm not Monday morning quarterbacking. I picked him to win by stoppage. All right.
Yes, he did. Calix Box, I want to read this comment. It says, real talk, great to see Loma back in the win column. Rematch will be much better since Loma will likely come out more aggressive. Give the edge to Teofimo on that one. Yes, and let's talk about the question that I have in the title of this video. Loma, it's sounding like, it's not official yet, but it's sounding like it could be his next fight if Teofimo gets past George Kambosos,
Right.
who is his mandatory through the IBF.
Is the fight ever going to happen? I mean, we'll see, you know.
I know. Disappointed to hear it's being pushed back possibly again. But anyway, I want to ask this question. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys in the chat who've been around HCP long enough know how I feel about this rematch. But do you feel like it's too soon? Like, I mean, he's getting it right away almost. One fight, and then he's getting the rematch with Teofimo. And keep this in mind. They did not put a rematch clause in that contract for a reason. They expected Lomachenko to just walk all over Teofimo Lopez. They expected him to beat Teofimo Lopez the way that he beat up Nakatani on Saturday night. That's what they expected. And when it happened, when what happened, now you want to bitch and complain about shit. Now you want to talk rematch, and now they know it was a draw. First off, no, Lomachenko got his ass kicked. Okay, you got your ass kicked. You got outboxed, and then when you decided to open up because you knew you were losing, you were getting hurt. Okay, you got hurt to the body in round 10. Okay, the referee called it a low blow when it was a border shot. A borderline shot hurt you to the body. Then you got hurt again in the 12th round. Okay, I scored the fight 9 rounds to 3. I had a swing round 8. I still give that round to Teofimo. If you want to give that round to Loma, fine. That's still 8-4 on my card. To me, the fight wasn't close. And my theory is this. I don't want to say my theory. This is the way I look at it, man, from a competitive perspective, right? I always use the basketball stuff, man, but I'm going to say this. If D-Style and I are at the park and we're playing one-on-one 21, and we got Calix waiting on the sidelines to play the winner, and then we got the boxing historian waiting on the sidelines to play a game also. Now we go out there and I beat D-Style 21-5, right? Not a close game. 21-5, I beat him. And you think I'm going to make these guys wait? These guys on the side, I'm going to make them wait just to give him another rematch and we run it back after I just
it was my shoulder. It was my shoulder though. You know what I mean? And my shoulder's ready now. It's ready.
I'm just saying, guys, think about it like that. Those guys on the sidelines, that they're representing guys like, you know, a possible fight with Haney if Haney decides to, you know, go with Top Rank or something, or anybody else, right? Any of these other fights we want to see. We're gonna make those fights wait to see him fight Lomachenko again. A guy who, again, thought he was just gonna walk all over this kid, thought he was gonna style on this kid, and was so confident going in, they didn't even bother to put a rematch clause. You know? That's why I say, you know what? Make his punk ass wait. You know why I say that? Because that motherfucker wouldn't give Teofimo Lopez a rematch if he beat him. Would he? Fuck no, he wouldn't. So you know what? I don't give a damn if he makes him wait. If they make it happen, then make it happen. I'll watch it. But what I'm saying is this. I'd rather see something else than to see this rematch again. Go ahead, D-Style.
Well, look, what I'll say is this, you know, there was no rematch clause. They didn't want a rematch clause. They had no interest in giving Teofimo Lopez a rematch clause. You have to deal with the repercussions of a loss. You know, it's just the way it is. There's too many fighters in the field to just have two guys have to rematch just because. But I'm in favor of the rematch now, given the fact that he came back, he looked good against Nakatani, and in a way redeemed it a little bit. So I'm in favor of a rematch right now, personally.
Okay. Like I said, the way I look at it, man, the fight wasn't close. And If they can't get any of the other fights done, then okay, fine, we can do it. We've had Eddie Hearn come out and say, well, if Teofimo beats Kambosos, we're going to make a big offer for that fight. Now, if he does, if he's a man of his word and he does that, like he says, then you know what? Fuck the Lomachenko rematch.
Right.
Let's see Devin Haney. Okay. Let's see Haney and anybody else. If they decide to do something, which I don't think they will because they've already said they're keeping everything in-house. But if that's a possibility, I'm taking that over Lomachenko. Ryan Garcia, again, I'm taking that over Lomachenko. If Josh Taylor and Teofimo Lopez are going to fight, both top-ranked fighters, I'm taking Josh Taylor. That's just the way that I'm looking at it, man. Because these guys, again, they didn't give a rematch clause. And they were just too cocky. And you know what? It bit him in the ass. And I don't feel sorry for them. And it's not about being a diva. None of that shit. All right. This is on fucking GP. This is on general principle. All right. Fuck them. And the horse they rode in on, they have to wait now. Get your ass in the back of the line if somebody else is if there's a better fight available. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way that I see it.
That's the way it always should be, right? The best fight available should be the fight you should take. I mean, I think that's a general rule, just in general. But I'm going to say, though, a lot of people are excited about the rematch, though. Like the rematch will bring a lot of attention and probably will be Teofimo's first pay-per-view.
Yeah. Well, he's going to fight on pay-per-view the Kambosos.
Yeah,
right?
true. That's true.
Yeah.
So I stand corrected. But,
Yeah.
with Top Rank, first pay-per-view with Top Rank.
Yes, that will definitely be a pay-per-view, considering that Teofimo's going to be on pay-per-view against Kambosos. So, yeah, but still, that's just the way that I'm looking at it, man. He got his ass kicked. The fight wasn't close. And, if it was close, I wouldn't mind. I would be like, hey, let's do it again then. Let's run it back. Close fight. But it wasn't like, and that's exactly why I say that Wilder deserves the third fight, because the first fight was a draw. Now, I know a lot of people think Fury won that fight, and that's understandable. But officially, it was a draw. So nobody wins that fight. Fury stops him in the second. So, yes, I think there is, a right for him to have that third fight. Would I rather see Undisputed first? Absolutely. But that didn't happen, And that's just the way that I'm looking at it, man. So I think there's a lot of people in the chat also that want to see the rematch. That's fine. Like I said, if they make it, they make it. But the way I'm looking at it is like this. I would much rather see another fight than to see that again. Because, again, it wasn't close, in my opinion. But I want to ask you this now.
Just to challenge you a little bit on that. So I agree that if there's a better, like, I'd rather see the Haney fight right now, just to like erase all of like the doubts or whatever people have or whatever, right? For the Undisputed thing. If it's not gonna happen, but let's say that the Tank fight is available and they could do Tank Davis versus Teofimo Lopez, I think that would take priority. But aside from that, and maybe a Ryan Garcia fight, if that becomes available, Fortuna's been waiting for his shots. So if he happens to win his fight with JoJo, maybe. But aside from that, though, and obviously moving up to fight Josh Taylor, right? I just named you some fights that I'll be like, okay. But if he fights Kambosos and then he fights like some fringe dude that we never heard about, I don't know that will take precedence over a Loma fight for me. You know what I mean?
No, not for me either. It's got to be something, like I said, something that we've been waiting for in order to stop that rematch for me, But I want to ask you this, man, because it seems. Oh, actually, let me answer this question here from Miguel Mondragon. Says, do you think the rematch will be closer because Loma will get more aggressive earlier? I think that would be a stupid idea. I think if he opens up, he's going to get caught with some shit. Like he was getting caught late in the fight. Like people make such an over-exaggeration about what Loma was doing in those championship rounds. Did he get more aggressive? Yes. Did he land more shots? Yes. But guess what? He was getting hit too. Just go back and watch it.
He's a bad matchup for Loma.
Yeah, he's getting hit and he was getting hurt.
It's a bad dude. Teofimo Lopez is doing him a favor by not rematching him.
Yes.
It's a bad matchup for him, guys. I honestly believe he's Forrest and Loma's Shane Mosley. I honestly believe that. You know what I mean?
Me too.
It's how I feel about it.
And like, let's not ignore now. Loma looked good. You know, he looked really good, spectacular. But let's not ignore a lot of those body shots that Nakatani was landing. He was digging some good hooks to the body pretty much all night. Now, he wasn't hurting Loma. You know, Loma took him and kept coming. But he's very hittable, man. Like, this guy is not, again, and I said this in my prediction video for that Teofimo fight. He's not the same guy when he's forced on the back foot, and he gets hit a lot. He gets hit, man, you know, and he's in there with a guy who's just as fast, if not faster, hits harder, much more defensive, much more responsible in the defensive end than a Nakatani is. So I agree with you, D-Style. I think it's a bad matchup for Lomachenko. But he's not going to have a choice now. If he goes into this rematch, he's not going to have a choice but to start early. And I think it's going to end him, you know. It's going to end him, you know.
Look, what I'll argue is this. I do believe Lomachenko is the second best lightweight in the world behind only Teofimo Lopez, and that's why I'm not against the rematch, just to erase all doubts. I just don't think Teofimo's required to do so. I think, but I know they want the fight, though. They've already talked to Bob, and they want to do the fight, so it's going to happen.
Yeah. And I want to say this. I'm glad that you brought up the whole let's stop the little Loma talk. Can we also stop that the fight was a draw? Can we stop that bullshit? That fight was not a draw, okay? You guys are just still sour grapes because your guy got beat. You were so overconfident going into this fight. Okay, I don't think we forgot about you guys, all right? You guys came at HCP hard when we were both picking Teofimo to beat Lomachenko back last year. Don't think we forgot that bullshit. And you guys are the same ones out here talking this shit about, oh, man, it was a draw. Or it could have been 7-5. If you want to give it to Lopez, it's always 7-5, which is just one round off from a draw. Okay, It was not a draw. It was not 7-5. Okay, the most I'll give you is 8-4. That's it. Nothing else. Okay, you can't make an argument for a draw in that fight. You just can't. I'm sorry. So let's stop the draw talk. And speaking of stopping
it's a
pop,
draw. Like, dude, since when does a dude say, you know who else said it was a draw? That's what Chavez Jr. always says when he loses a decision. I think it could have been a draw. So that's the type of company you're at, you know?
yes.
If you say it should have been a draw, whenever you heard a fighter say, like you know what I mean? Like if Loma thinks it's a draw, that means he lost, bro. Okay?
Yeah.
That's what that means.
And he's not even arguing that he won the fight. He's arguing for a draw. You know, so like, I mean, what are you even bitching about at this point? You know, it's not like you're saying, well, I won the fight. I really won the fight. No, they know it was a draw. Like, that's just silly to me. Okay. But speaking of silly, the silliest shit to me out of this whole thing, I'm not going to let these guys off the hook. ESPN with this Loma Reloaded. Okay, these guys are basically running an infomercial on Saturday night for Lomachenko, and it was the most disgusting things I've ever seen. I mean, they ran right along with the narratives that he was, his shoulder. Oh, he's really a featherweight, you know.
Ay, me duele. Me duele mucho. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Like every time is like, I'm tired of fighters losing, and all of a sudden they had a very serious injury. You know, I wasn't letting my right hand go for first 6 rounds because my shoulder hurt. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, it didn't hurt from round 7 to 12. Come on, like nobody believes that. I knew that was an excuse. I knew it. I knew he was just saying that because he was embarrassed that he got outboxed for the first 12 rounds, for the first 6 rounds, I should say. He was embarrassed, so he'll rather give you an excuse to justify, at least in his mind, it was my shoulder. You know what I mean? Instead of just admitting it. That's why I was so confident going to the Nakatani fight. I'm like, you guys are buying too much into the shoulder thing. His shoulder's fine. Okay, he took some pictures on the internet and showed them to everybody with like all wrapped and shit. Like, give me a fucking break, okay?
Exactly. Surgeon here says Loma is
Ay,
just salty. The boy beat him. Yes, he is salty as
ay,
mermaid pussy. That's what Lomachenko is.
ay, me
Salty as
duele.
mermaid pussy.
Ay, like get the fuck out of here, bro.
Yeah, I couldn't throw my right hand for 7 rounds, but that right hand was sure working in the later in the fight, right?
Like just look. At the end of the day, I'm gonna be honest with you. Just to answer that earlier question, I do believe, and you tell me if this makes sense to you or not, but I think it'll be a closer contested fight. I think he will have more success against Teofimo, but I think because of that, Teofimo will stop him. Okay,
Yep.
because Teofimo hits a lot harder than Loma. All right. Now you may say to yourself, but Batista, but he stopped Nakatani and Loma didn't. Okay, first of all, that was a younger Teofimo. He was like, that was right before he was a world champion. That's number one. Number two, Nakatani's not the same guy. Okay? He just isn't. I kept telling people, like, look, he was getting dropped by Verde. Like I know Verdejo had power, but he didn't have, like, he's not like Tank. Like, you know what I mean? Where he just drops guys like that. That's because the punch resistance of Nakatani was starting to go away. He was gone for he had retired, bro. He had an injury in the fucking Teofimo Lopez fight.
Yeah.
Like, you don't just recover from fracture like orbital bones like nothing, right? You could tell Loma, and it was smart of Loma, but he targeted that eye the whole fight. Boom, 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 and it was a wrap, bro.
Yeah, and this is a good point here. Teofimo also had a foot injury too, so the injured shit is an excuse.
And did Loma do? I'm sorry, did Teo do the ay? Me duele mi ankle, ay. Like, no,
the kid got it repaired and was in the gym. You remember those videos? He's in the gym with a boot on, still working out, still getting in the work.
Ay, es que me duele. Ay.
It's ridiculous, man. And for ESPN to go along with this, you know, and not only that, but the sloppy toppy they were giving him during the fight was even more atrocious.
Bro.
Oh my God. Like, these dudes are acting like they've never seen a southpaw with footwork before. Like, this is something new, you know?
You know what? They think they're doing a service to Loma. You're not.
Nope.
Okay? Let Loma show people what he could do. You don't have to tell people. People could see that he's good and he could move. And can you stop? Like, Joe Tessitore, I do believe Loma's married. You know what I mean? I think, like, you know what I mean? I don't think he's interested, bro. I'm just letting you know, right?
Yeah. It's so bad. And then the whole Tim Bradley, he's downloading data right now, and like, man, just sickening. Absolutely sickening, man. And again, we're being consistent here. This is exactly why HCP is called the home of real boxing talk, okay? Because when motherfuckers make excuses when it comes to boxing, we call them out, okay? We called out Wilder for all his bullshit, all his excuses.
Es que tengo un dent. Ay, get the fuck out of here, bro. What do you mean you got a dent? Oh, the dent, like right here. Now it's over here. Like that dent's moving. Okay.
Yeah. And we called him out for all the excuses he made after his loss. And we're calling your punk ass out too, Lomachenko. All right. And now look at you. Not only are you making excuses, but now you're begging for a rematch. Begging for it. Because you were too fucking cocky and too arrogant to put it in the contract. Okay? So guess what, buddy? Get to the back of the fucking line, in my opinion. You know?
If I could say this, the downloading, like, I know what Tim Bradley means. Like, there are fighters that give away like 1 or 2 rounds. And not 6 or 7, by the way, okay? 1 or 2 rounds. They feel out their opponent. They want to get the sweat in. They don't want to get caught cold. That's one of the reasons. It's not always because they're downloading data. They want to, get the sweat on, react better to the punches. It's really dangerous. That first round's always very dangerous, And then after that, yeah, maybe they might give away another round just to kind of see what. Okay, if I feint like this, what does he do? Okay, if I throw this jab, what does he do? I get it, but this idea that it was downloading data for 6 rounds.
Yeah.
6 rounds. He was downloading, and then it turns out he was wrong because according to Loma, his shoulder hurt. Is fucking like so.
Exactly.
Like Loma saying, so Loma says it was I. You know, Riley's saying, "Oh, he was downloading data." So look, at the end of the day, if someone's reading an opponent, right, and giving away rounds, I don't even think a commentator should say that. If you watch someone lose a round, just call it for what it is. Obviously, if they take over in the 4th or 6th round and then dominate the rest of the fight, then in your post-fight analysis, then you could say, you know what? Now that we look back, I mean, you see how we adjusted to this and that, and that's once they make the adjustment, then you point it out. You don't tell people ahead, oh, because he's downloading data right now. Don't even worry. These rounds don't even count. You know what I mean? Like right now, he's winning the rounds, but really he just downloaded the data. You know, that's all he's doing. No, that's irresponsible. That's stupid, and it conveys to people that the rounds don't matter when they do. Call the rounds for what they are, and if the fighter makes an adjustment and starts to win, then as the expert analyst, you should point out the adjustment that was made once they make the adjustment. Okay? HC Funky, when have you heard a football or even a basketball commentator say, yeah, I mean, the Kings are down by 30 right now, but you know what they're doing right now? They're downloading data, okay, and they're just ready to make an adjustment, and they're going to come back and win at the end. Like, you don't really hear that. You might hear them say what they need to do is this. What he needs to start doing is that. I hope what he's trying to do is this, right?
Yeah.
Like, stop saying, okay, it's irresponsible to do that. Every round is scored, dude. Every round is an individual fight. So whoever won that 3-minute fight, give credit to the guy that won it. All right?
Yeah, exactly, man. Stop taking. I mean, if I'm Teofimo Lopez, I'm watching that. I'm grinding my teeth. You know, I'm like, how could these dudes go on? Like, I can't understand. You want to do okay? Loma reloaded. He's coming back. He's taking on a tough opponent. That's fine and dandy. But to sit there and go along with all the excuses that this guy made, I mean, and just overdo it, way over the top with this madness. You know, this shit was fucking ridiculous, man. Like, I had to turn off the volume, man. Like, I just couldn't take it anymore. I'm like, well, you know what? I'm not listening to this bullshit. Okay, I'm sorry, man. That's just, I mean, yeah, like Loma just woke up that morning and was like, you know what, man? I think I'm going to give away the first 6-7 rounds of this fight and then try to pull it off in dramatic.
Yeah, because I want to download data. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's not even what he said, though. What did he say?
My shoulder. I could not throw my shoulder.
You know, like, you know how Wilder was like this, like, because you can't look. It's impossible. It's impossible to bend it back. Look, you know what I mean? Like Loma was like, "Mira, like what do you mean?" So in the 7th, it miraculously they cured itself, and it was good for another 6 rounds.
Yep,
Come on now.
I guess so. Anyway, I just want to touch on that because we're not going to let these dudes slide. Again, HCP, the home of real boxing talk, and we keep it consistent. Motherfuckers make excuses. You're going to get called out for your bullshit here. Okay? Sorry, it's not going to pass over here, man. So we're going to move on to the next topic.
All right.
Big topic. We had a PBC pay-per-view again. Again, we have another PBC pay-per-view next month. We have another PBC pay-per-view the month after that. I mean, these guys love pay-per-view. Tony Boswell in the house. What's going on, man? Big supporter here of HCP. We appreciate everything you do for us, man. Smash the like button, man. And I just want to say this, you know. Lubin and Rosario, we'll touch on that first.
Sure.
I did pick Lubin to win that fight. I don't have any faith in Rosario being able to take punches anymore. He gets hurt to the body again. Now, look, body shots are one of those things, man. They hurt everybody, you know. But this guy just seems to not take them very well at all. He gets hit, he gets hurt, he goes out from body shots. This is 2 fights in a row now.
Bro.
Credit to Lubin, man. He's made a comeback after that first round knockout that he suffered to Jamel Charlo. What did you think, man? What were your thoughts on that real quickly before we talk about Gervonta Davis?
¡Ay, mi estómago! ¡Ay! Like, bro, he went down. He looked like he got shot in the stomach, brother. Okay?
Yeah.
First of all, Lubin, and I said this in the pre-fight, I said he has one of the best straights to the body in boxing. You know what I mean? Like it's up there. It's a beautiful shot that he has. And I like put 2 and 2 together and look against Charlo, he falls down. It looks like he's having a seizure. Like he wants to throw up and I'm like, what the hell? Like, was this some freak thing? But then in this fight, the same thing happened. The dude goes down, bro, like in agony.
Yeah.
like, dude, there's something not right there. And not only that, like I said before the fight, you've been exposed, brother. You know, the word exposed gets overused in boxing. You know, it does.
Yeah.
Like, for example, Teofimo beat Loma. I don't think that's Loma getting exposed. I just think Teofimo's a bad matchup for him. You know what I mean? In this case, I do think he's exposed. You don't go down like that in agony. The dude's like in agony when he goes down, bro. Like not even in the main. We're gonna talk about the fight, but not even Barrios went down like that. Like dude, like what's going on?
He's very dramatic.
What's in your organs that makes you like scream out in agony when you go down like that, brother? Why are you having convulsions and seizures and wanting to throw up? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I knew he would like hurt him to the body and that would play a role, but I wasn't sure if it would stop him to the body. You know what I mean? But he did. And then he kind of finished him. I think it was like he hit him upstairs, but hit him with a hook to the body right before he went upstairs. And it stopped the fight. The guy falls down. He's just in agony. And then he was like sitting down like a pregnant woman is like, ay, like, you know what I mean? Like I'm like, ay, mi estómago. Like, you know, like I don't know what's going on. Brother, I think he needs to give middleweight a shot. I think it has a lot to do with the way you cut weight. It has to be, because if it's not that, then I don't even know you should continue boxing because everyone's going to start hitting that body, brother.
Yep.
And not only that, he has like a posture that's very like this. You know what I mean? You got to like blade your body now, brother. You're going to have to change your stance. You're going to have to go up in weight. You're going to have to find out what is going on because that's a bad sign, dude. You know what I mean? Like right now, J-Rock's like, fuck, why didn't I know about that?
Yep.
You know?
I would have went straight to the body.
Yeah, like everyone's gonna go for it, brother. So you better it's not the lack of sit-ups or workout because he looks in shape and all that, you know. So there's something up, man. That's an Achilles heel. That's a terrible Achilles heel. I'd rather have a bad chin than like be vulnerable to the body in boxing.
Yeah.
Anything.
And unfortunately, Rosario is not going to go away because he does pack power, so they're going to put him in there with a guy next who he's probably going to blow out in dramatic fashion. And then they're going to be like, hey, Banana's back. He's back. And then as soon as they step him up again, somebody's going to go straight to that body. And
what do you think about him moving up? Like, do you think maybe the weight cut has something to do with it?
Possible. It's possible. We know that, guys that cut weight, cut a dramatic amount of weight, it does take away their punch resistance, So that could be a problem. But we'll see, man. There's definitely a soft spot there.
He's got to blade his body, brother. He's got to blade that body more. Like, you know what I mean? He's gonna have to change his fighting stance. He has to. I'm sorry, He has to. You can't be open to a straight and a jab like that. And you know what it is? Those straights seem to hurt him more than the hooks, which is strange. Like usually it's the hooks that make guys go, oh. You know what I mean? Usually the straights and the jabs wear guys down over a course of the fight, but they hurt this guy. You know what I mean? Imagine Floyd fighting Rosario when he was jabbing people to the body.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ, bro.
I love those straight punches to the body, man. I've mentioned it a lot in some of my breakdowns, That's like, you know, like stabbing shots to the body, man. Straight ones, you know. The hooks, you know, those are the big dramatic body shot knockouts. But the straight ones, man, they get you too. And for Pobrecito Rosario, you know, you can't take him.
Me duele mi estómago. Brother, stop eating bananas. Maybe that's what it is, brother. I don't know, man. Like, I think he should give moving up in weight a shot, so he's not cutting as much weight, you know. And just, dude, you're gonna have to do some sparring and have motherfuckers target that body until you figure out what the fuck's going on. Like, and like, I don't even want to joke around about this, but Tony Boswell said maybe he has like some hernia or something there. You know what I mean?
Maybe, yeah.
You got to get that checked out, brother. Like, I'm sure he has had it checked out. I'm pretty sure. Like, I'm pretty sure he passes the boxing physicals and all that. But I mean, like, go have like a professional, like someone who specializes on the stomach. Look at it, you know, outside of just your regular tests and all that. Go check that out. It's something, brother. It's something. They got to find out what it is. It's not normal to get knocked out with a jab to the body. It's not impossible, but back-to-back fights, bro. Now this one was in the jab. It was a straight that knocked him down, but still.
Yeah. This is a good question here from Tony. Is Lubin Charlos mandatory? I don't know, man. That's a good question. Calix, I think Calix is responding. Yes, he is. I mean, it's kind of hard to justify giving a guy a rematch after you've knocked him out in the first round, you know, especially for someone like me. You know, like I said, if fights aren't close, I don't want to see it again, you know?
Yeah, but you don't believe in a guy earning his way back up to a title shot, even if you already lost to that guy? Because to give you an example, Conor McGregor dominated a dude years ago. They fought again. I forget the name of the guy. And then he beat Conor McGregor in the rematch. Now, obviously, they didn't do it immediately, but he earned his way back up like over a course of fights. And I think Lubin is not the same fight. I think he was really young and he was not ready for that level at that time. Now, I think it's fair to say Charles not knocking him out in the first round. He might win, but I don't think he knocks him out in the first round.
Yeah, I mean, I might soften my stance. Like you said, if the guy works his way back up, you know, but I'd have to see that, you know.
Then again, you know what? If you're Charlo, you're probably like, bro, I showed you how to beat this guy. Like, you know,
exactly.
what's going on over here?
He got his ass out in the first, you know. So, yeah, let's talk about the main event now and the topic here in the title of this video. All right, let's talk about it. Gervonta Tank Davis moves up and fights Mario Barrios.
I gotta say it right. I gotta say it right. Mario Barrios. Hashtag HCP. What's going on?
Like that Maria. What was that? The
Maria del Barrio. Mario del Barrio. No pudo contra Tank.
That's him, the Aztec Warrior.
Mario del Barrio lo escogió.
And BBC. You know what I liked was they used the old Ray Arcel trick of combing the guy's hair in between rounds.
That was kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie, man. That was kind of cool. Plus, he does look a lot like that dude from Blood In, Blood Out, like the
El Gallo Negro.
El Gallo Negro, bro. Like, we got to see El Gallo Negro, like, go at it. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, shit. El Gallo Negro's giving Tank a hell of a fight, bro. Like, he's like, look at this. There you go.
So anyway, look, here's the thing. I'm gonna say this before we go in on this fight. Here at HCP, we're not just Monday morning quarterbacking here about this regular title bullshit. Okay, we've been making jokes before this fight was even signed about how all roads to undisputed at 140 pounds lead through Mario Barrios.
Mario Barrios.
We've been saying this, so this is not something new. We're not just jumping on it because Tank won the belt from him. No, we were saying this before, okay? And check the fucking receipts. We got him, okay? We got him. We've been joking about this shit for a long time. But anyway, Tank moves up to 140 and beats Mario Barrios, stops him in, I believe, 11 rounds. I did not order this pay-per-view. You guys know I order a lot of pay-per-views. I did not order this pay-per-view because I felt like it was just too much of a hand-picked, tailor-made, straight up and down, like 6 o'clock opponent for Tank Davis. Okay, that's just the way I feel about it. You guys might feel another way. I didn't like the matchup for Barrios. I felt like Leo Santa Cruz was a far better matchup for Tank, because, again, he's more proven. I'm the type of guy I go off of what I see in the ring for the most part. There are some times where I think a prospect shows certain things, and I think that they can beat the veteran or the champion once they get their shot, but at least we've seen Leo Santa Cruz fight some guys. He's fought Mares, he's fought Frampton, he's fought some guys. So at least we can judge him and we know where he's at. We cannot say the same about Barrios. We just can't. And that's the reason why I say it was just a hand-picked cherry at 140 pounds to get that regular title, just in case Josh Taylor decides to move up and fight Terrence Crawford. He'll probably be elevated if he decides to stay there. Probably be elevated to the super champion for the WBA. But it's a good win. I'm not going to take all credit away from Tank. It's a good win, moving up in weight and beating a fighter up there. But again, for me, it was a straight up and down opponent, and that's really all it is to me. The fact that they were promoting this fight as a world championship fight was very disrespectful to the undisputed champion at 140 pounds in Josh Taylor. Very disrespectful, in my opinion. Like, what the fuck's the point of having undisputed fights, having a guy collect all the belts, if you're just going to give credit to a regular belt in the division? That's ridiculous, man. But we know why they did that. We know why they did it. But first off, before I ask you the question, what did you think of the fight, man?
I have to be honest. It's a fight of the year candidate. It was that good. That was a really good. I was playing. And now, again, I'm not a Monday morning quarterback type of guy. I did say when a lot of people disagreed with me, that this would be a much tougher fight than Nakatani versus Loma would be, right? I did feel that Barrios would give him a much better fight, and I did pick Tank to win by a late round stoppage, right? Because I do feel like, I did feel Barrios would win a couple of rounds. He won more rounds than I thought he would. That I will say. And I do think like the way it kind of went, like Barrios winning the early rounds, but they were competitive, and then Tank getting those 2 knockdowns, turning the fight around, winning some rounds in the middle rounds, and then like the later rounds, they were evenly contested up until the body shot. Beer guys, up until the body shot knocked down Barrios, and it was a wrap. You can argue the stoppage a little bit. Like I think I did wonder to myself, why'd you let him continue then, ref? But you could argue the stoppage a little bit, but I mean, I'm not going to really argue it that much. I think it was pretty clear that it was over at that point. But it was a fight of the year. Like when you separate the politics and how they promoted it, and the fact that it's not for a real bell, we all know that. But when you just look at the fight for what it is. It was a hell of a fight. And am I surprised? I mean, not really. I mean, Mario Barrios is an action fighter. So is Tank. So, there were, and I think that's the way they should have promoted it. Like, hey, this is going to be a fight of the year candidate type fight. Barrios going to bring it. Tank's going to bring it. Tank's, dipping his toes in the water at 140. I think would have been a more effective way to promote the fight. It wouldn't have made as much people upset, but did I wonder to myself at times, like, man, if that was Josh Taylor in there, like, if that was Prograis in there, like, I did say to myself, like, man, Tank would be in a lot of trouble. And
you know what? Pobrecito Prograis, man. This guy goes to the other side of the street and still can't get fights. You know what I'm saying? He still can't get fights. And him and Tank have been talking back and forth for a minute, too. But I don't think they would dare make that fight. Fight Doctor here, I know you have a problem with the belts, but here at HCP, we don't have an issue with the real belts, that is. Boxing King 22 says, Tank and Floyd going to cherry pick a 147 regular champ next. It would not surprise me.
I'm hoping. I agree with you guys, but I'm hoping my intuition's wrong. I'm hoping I am. Like, yeah. Like, do you think like I don't want to be here like ragging on Tank. I want to talk about how excited I am about Tank's about to fight Devin Haney or Teofimo Lopez, or that's what I'd rather talk about. I'd rather come on here and be like, man, what a win by Tank. I didn't see that coming, guys, but holy shit, he knocked out Lomachenko in 5 rounds. That was amazing. I want to do those videos if he could do that, but he's not doing it. So what do you guys want?
He's not doing it, and his fans are okay with it, and that's the real big problem. His fans are okay with this shit, with him just jumping all around and hand-picking guys, hand-picking them. Nobody can dispute that. This guy is hand-picking his opponents. Shout out to H Money. What's going on, H Money?
He's going them, bro.
He's going to division to division and hand-picking opponents.
He's so good at hand-picking. Like, holy shit, bro.
And this is one of the main reasons why I love when guys go for undisputed. They'll stay in the division and try to clean it out. Leave no doubt. That's why it's called undisputed. Okay, going from one division to another, especially fighting regular champions. Like the only belt he has that's a real belt is at 130 when he beat Santa Cruz in his last fight. You know, he beat Gamboa for another regular WBA. He beats Barrios for the regular WBA. I mean, and then they're putting these fights on pay-per-view. To me, that's one of the biggest problems of the whole thing. This is not a pay-per-view fight.
I gotta tell you, Funky, I really hope Josh Sater does not move up to fight Crawford. Not because I wouldn't want to see that fight, but because that would, like just like in Dragon Ball, everything is all the balls, all the belts are gonna scatter all over the place, and you already know what they're gonna do with Tank. They're going to elevate him to super champion. Okay, that's what's gonna happen. If Teofimo Lopez moves up, they're gonna elevate Tank to super champion. Okay, like I want Tank to beat somebody for the real WBA title, either Tater or Teofimo Lopez. You are in position, and when you're the regular champion, you can put yourself in position to become the mandatory for the super title. Okay, so I would hope you have 2 options in 2 divisions. I would hope you would do that. Bro, there's smoke for him at 130, dude. Imagine Valdez versus Tank at 130.
Oh, man, big fight.
And my problem is, look, I get that Tank is dangerous, and I would give him a chance against anybody. I got to be honest with you. I would. Right?
He's got the kind of power, yeah.
Yeah, I can't count. And he has got boxing skills, too. It's not just power. He's just a brute that just throws, caution to the wind or some shit. Like, nah, this guy, he's competent in his boxing, and he could fucking punch like a Mack truck. There's no doubt about that. But his fans are okay with just saying, he could beat those guys anyway, so I don't care.
Yep.
That's not how it works.
Exactly.
You got to actually do it,
Yep. We've been saying this for a long time, and I don't want to hear this bullshit because I'm hearing this a lot. Well, what about Canelo? And Canelo does it, and Canelo fights this guy and that guy. Look, I said the same thing about Canelo. You go to my channel, check the fucking receipts. Okay, I was saying the same thing about Canelo when he was doing this. Okay, since then, guess what? He's fought all the guys that wanted him to fight. I was bitching and moaning about seeing him fight a guy like Vanes Martirosyan back then at 154. I was bitching and moaning about him fighting Erislandy Lara at 154. I was bitching and moaning about him fighting Austin Trout at 154. Well, guess what? He fought 2 of those guys. Beat them both. Okay?
Both of them. Beat them down.
So don't come at me with that bullshit. Okay? Tony Boswell says, I'm sorry to say this, but Tank is starting to become wilder because of the way Floyd picks his opponents. He's just looking for the KO. It's starting to seem that way. I'm seeing a lot of people here in the chat, and a lot of people that I talk to that seen the fight, people that I trust, are telling me that, Barrios was winning or the fight was even or it was, close fight. So, yeah, I can kind of see that, Tony. We know Wilder, historically is probably losing every fight that he's been in unless he's knocking a guy out really early, So I can kind of see your point there, but I just want to say this to the fans, man. I mean, we have to stop. This is the reason why I didn't buy the fight, because this is not a pay-per-view fight. This is not good for boxing, guys. You think it's good for boxing? Oh, he's packing the house. That's good. That's fine and dandy. Okay, but the fact that not a lot of eyes are being put on his fights, 200,000 arguably 200,000. I'm hearing other reports that it could have been lower, but 200,000 buys for his last fight. We don't know how much this is going to do. I have a feeling it's going to do less because nobody know who the fuck Barrios is. You know, there probably was some hardcores that
bro.
There's probably a lot of hardcores that knew who Leo Santa Cruz was, you know, and that could have been a big factor in the numbers in the last fight. But these guys are willing to get pissed on by fucking Floyd Mayweather and TMT Promotions and gladly take it. He's pissing on the fans' head and telling them that it's fucking champagne, and they're loving every fucking drop of it. And it's disgusting, man.
Just imagine.
Let me show you real quick. Let me show you what's happening over there with TMT and the fans.
Show us, you funky.
This is what's happening here.
And I like that. Oh, that's it. Bathe the Stiffmeister. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's great. How did you get it so nice and warm? I can taste the bubbles.
That's these guys right here, man, getting a golden shower from
Oh
TMT.
my God, they're like Floyd. Oh,
I love it. I can taste the bubbles, you know.
no mames, bro. Oh
Disgusting,
my God,
bro. They are gladly accepting this, man. This is not just sport, guys. Just imagine if Tank fought on Fox, PBC Fox, or pay-per-view.
Oh.
Been a lot more eyes on this fight, but they've made it an $80 pay-per-view.
Look, this is beer, by the way. It's not that shit.
Absolutely, Kitty. You could taste the bubbles. The Stiffmeister was tasting those bubbles, all right? Just like the rest of those fans who paid $80 to see this on pay-per-view.
What a horrible price. I mean, too high in price. Like, in the long run, it's better for Tank if you put the fight on Showtime. It's better if it's on Fox. It's just better. Imagine this fight was on Fox, bro. Like not for nothing. If Barrios Tank was on fight, the type of fight that was, it would have been good for boxing. It would have, and it would have been good for Tank.
Yeah.
Floyd just thinks you just put on a pay-per-view. Like, there's no pay-per-view sticker. Okay?
Yeah. And his fans think it's cool too. Like it's a big event. This is a big event. No, it's not a big event. And you know what I find funny? What's so hypocritical about these guys saying that? These were the same guys who were pissing on the fact that Canelo sold 73,000 tickets against Billy Joe Saunders. They were calling that a shit fight. That's not a big fight. What is that? Do you remember that bullshit? But they're okay with this, you know? They're okay with taking the golden shower from TMT, man.
Oh, for the love of God, stop being okay with it. Stop. Can you stop being okay with it? Why do you want, like, look, there's some good things that they're doing with Tank, okay? One, they're putting them somewhere that makes sense. Like, I remember HBO when they would put Berto in the middle of nowhere, like a desert somewhere, some Indian reservation.
Yeah.
And nobody was there to see it, but Gary Shaw was okay with it because he was getting his money from the casino. You know what I mean? He was getting his site fee or whatever. Like, nah, dude, like, this is good. Yes, you go to locations, just like Crawford. There's no reason why Crawford should be fighting anywhere but Nebraska because he sells out in Nebraska. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where he should be fighting. All right. So, yes, you put fighters in their hometowns where they could sell, and that's a good thing. And now, obviously, I'm not saying this is, I think it's from Baltimore, but nonetheless, it's an area where he's popular. So it makes sense to put him there. Okay. But for God sakes, okay? Like to say this is he's a pay-per-view star. Based on what?
Exactly.
In order to be a pay-per-view star, you have to sell really good. I would think at least over 500,000 a pop to be a pay-per-view star. Okay? To put the label star next to your name, I would think, G Funky, you have to sell over 500,000 or more. Be flirting with that million line. You know what I mean?
I would agree.
Especially nowadays where you could order your pay-per-views with this shit, with a phone. Okay? Where it's more easier than ever to buy pay-per-views. You would think you would be able to sell a lot, but I question how much he's going to grow. You know what I mean? Now, obviously, this event was good enough to where I believe, you know, there'll be some return customers, right? Word is getting out there a little bit. The Tank is exciting to watch, but man, you just got to give us one of these. And they would have given us this one on free TV. It would have been everywhere, bro. It would have been on Sports Center all whole night, the whole nine. All that. It might have annoyed us by all the hype it got, but that's a good problem to have, not a bad one. Okay.
Yep.
So that's all I have to say about that.
I want to read something here with this whole cash cow talk, talking about Tank is the new cash cow and this type of shit.
Cow.
So I read this somewhere, according to
Pinche vaca sin leche, no mames.
Exactly, he's a baby calf. According to reports of sports payouts, Tank was guaranteed $1 million with 60% of the pay-per-view shares. Meanwhile, his net income could have possibly been around $5 million. All right. El Azteca Barrios received a guarantee of a payout of $500,000 and 40% of the pay-per-view shares. And he could earn up to $1.5 million when it's all said and done, depending on, again, how many buys the card did. I just have a feeling that it didn't do well. That's just my opinion on it. Because, again, Barrios is not a household name. He's just not at the end of the day. And, again, just slapping a pay-per-view label on a fight that should have been on regular TV doesn't make it a big event, and it doesn't make the guy a pay-per-view star. Again, you're getting pissed on and loving it. That's a fucking problem, man. And to talk and to address this comment here.
This is Tank fans, by the way, like this. Ay! Tengo dinero, ay! Like what the fuck, bro? Let's spend all your money, bro, on these dudes.
Exactly. Leonard LB is feeding the narrative that Tank is a star, right? And even he admitted. That's how you know Barrios is a not a big name. I seen an interview with him where he was talking like, these fans here, this is going to be a packed house. I can guarantee you a lot of these fans don't know who Barrios is. They don't know him, you know? And that's true. They don't know who the fuck this guy is. And that's not a problem. Like Tank Davis is continuing to fight guys that nobody fucking knows, you know?
Barrios.
Man, it's really bad, man.
By the way, can we just get to this? So like come on. Like I just think like the nickname El Azteca is very generic. I just gotta be honest. Okay.
Yes, it is.
That's like calling every Irish fighter the Celtic warrior. You know, how many Celtic warriors can you have? You know what I mean? Like every dude, like if you're white, it's like calling yourself the Viking. Like, you know, I just feel like it's a little generic, okay? Plus, there's only one kid Azteca out there, okay?
Right.
You know, rest in peace to him. He was a great fighter, the whole nine. But I will say this. Like, you can't just call a guy El Azteca, okay? The Aztec. And, like, think that Mexicans are going to flock over, okay? You could brag about the sellout all you want, brother, but we saw the tickets go down in price.
They were cutting them in half, yeah.
You were cutting those per ticket prices. And look, I'm not even saying it's like a bad thing. Like it's hey, I'd rather have a ticket, someone there to watch it at half price and nothing, right? But come on, brother. Like stop acting like this shit sold out in 5 minutes or some shit, okay?
Exactly.
Just stop.
And let's get into the juicy part of this.
Uh-oh.
Because now we're hearing talks of Tank being a pound for pound top 10 guy. I was just over on Maestro A Boxing here. Again, subscribe to Maestro A. We were just on there for the last segment. And my boy Kenny Caraway from ESPN 1320 here in Sacramento.
What do you do now?
Big boxing fan. He called in and asked us, do you think that Tank is a pound for pound guy now? Because he's number 5 on my list. Now, I seen your list, Kenny. I got some issues with it. And again, I don't make pound for pound lists, but you had Tank Davis above guys like Inoue. You had him above guys like Teofimo Lopez. You had him above guys like Josh Taylor. I believe you even had him above Jermell Charlo, if I'm not mistaken. Possibly had Charlo one spot ahead of him, but he is not top 5 pound for pound after this fight. I'm sorry. And nothing he's done in his career puts him in the top 10 pound for pound. I'm sorry, guys. Tell me who this guy beat, or who has multiple fighters has he beaten to become a pound for pound guy? He just hasn't done it, man. He just hasn't. This guy has cherry picked his way to be a top 10 pound for pound guy on these guys' lists. Incredible, man. The comparisons to Henry Armstrong, incredible. Multi-3 division world champion. Again, he's not a world champion in this division. He's just not. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to break your heart, man. I'm sorry, but you know what? Sometimes the truth is better. You know, it's better to hear an ugly truth than a sweet lie. Okay, and that's what you're doing. You're passing out sweet lies,
sweet little lies.
Yep, that's them, man. That's them. I just don't know what to say, man. Is Tank? Do you consider him a top 10 pound for pound guy now?
No.
Listo? Anybody in the chat? Do you guys consider him a top 5 pound for pound guy?
Look, here's the problem with Tank. Okay, those that have him in the top pound for pound, you know, at the very least, you guys got to give me this. At the very least, stop making the argument based on resume, because his resume is trash compared to other guys on the list. That's just a fact. Okay, stop comparing his biggest wins, all right, to fucking tune-ups that Canelo had. Okay, well, and then stop making statements that just aren't true. Okay, well, everyone gave Canelo credit for the Yildirim fight. Who the fuck gave it? I don't know one person. I don't. That said, oh man, he looked good. He looked so good in that Yildirim fight. That makes Canelo pound for pound. No, that's not a fight that made him pound for pound or at all. Like, stop being stupid.
Exactly.
Okay, Tank Davis. Okay, all right. So he beat Leo Santa Cruz. Okay, good win. Right, cool. He beat Mario Barrios. You have to ask yourself, right? That Russian cat, Akhmedov, whatever, however you pronounce his name, that in my opinion should have won the decision and very clearly beat Barrios. Would you have considered him for the list if he had won that fight against Barrios?
I guess you'd have to, huh? If you're going to stay consistent.
Right? Like, it's a Mario Barrios win. And again, and I need to say this, because I feel like a lot of people are shitting on Mario Barrios, and he hasn't done anything here. He's just a fighter that shows what to fight. You know what I mean? And I think he put up a better fight than most give him credit for. But so it's not on him. He's excited to watch and all that. But the fact of the matter is that Tank Davis has been doing that shit that you see on the screen right now. He's been doing moonsaults over all the big competition.
Yes.
If Mario Barrios would have fought Vasil Lomachenko, who he ducked Vasil Lomachenko. I keep hearing, I don't have this guy and that guy on my list because he's a ducker. Exactly. Well, he ducked Vasil Lomachenko, so why the fuck is he in your list?
Exactly.
He did that. He did a moonsault. This dude's doing moonsaults over all the best competition. He's doing a moonsault over Lomachenko. He's doing a moonsault over all the best 135-pounders. He hasn't fought a top 5 guy his whole career. Arguably. When are you going to hold his feet to the fire? Everything is standards. Yep. What standard do you have that he could just beat a Mario Barrios? And that's it. What you got to give me at the very least is that you're basing it off the eye test. Because that's the only argument, plausible argument, why you have Tank Davis in anywhere near a pound-for-pound list. That is it. But my challenge to that is you're going to look good fighting certain types of guys. Right? Yep. You're going to look good fighting that level of opposition. Who would favor Barrios against Taylor? Nobody. Against Prograis? Nobody. If Prograis would have beaten him and knocked him out the same way, what they've been arguing that Prograis should be top of the pound for pound and all that, because that's what was going to happen. Everybody was favoring fucking Prograis. Right. It is time to step up and prove, show and prove that you are what your eye test shows us. Prove it and actually do it. In sports, you have to do these things. You can't just say to people. You can't just assume you will. No, you have to show it.
Right. I love the fact that you brought that up. I remember a lot of guys out here running their mouth about how they Canelo will never make my pound for pound list because he ducked guys. He's a fucking duck. That's what he is. He avoids fights. He avoids black fighters. How about that one? Well, how many fucking black fighters has Tank fought? The last time we seen him in there with a black fighter was the great Yoriyokis Gamboa on one fucking foot. And who else did he fight before that?
Bro, is a Gamboa win in 2020? Does that really warrant pound for pound status, guys?
No.
Like really? Like really?
How about this, man? You want to talk about not putting guys in your list because they ducked fighters, right? Quote unquote ducked fighters. Let's go over the list of how many guys that Tank was supposed to fight that he never fought, right? Let's start low.
Moonsault over those dudes.
Yeah, let's talk Tevin Farmer. That was a fight that was supposed to happen. Never happened, right? What happened there?
Just for the record, winnable fight for Tank. I think Tank would have destroyed Tevin Farmer.
Right.
But I could think all I want, right? In boxing, it's not I think, therefore I am. No. It's show, therefore you are.
Prove it.
That's how it works in boxing. You actually have to go in there and actually fight the guy in order for it to count. It doesn't just count just because you say, just because you think, right? That's not the way it works. A lot of people thought, that the British dude, Cal Brook, was going to beat, and they were very confident that he was going to beat Crawford. And they were wrong.
Wrong.
Laughable pick. It was a stupid pick. And they were confident. Confident about that. Just like they're confident about Tank. And you were wrong.
Oh, setback. HLD. Setback's one of those guys that will take the golden shower and love it. Love every minute of it. High, low, and high. What's up, high, low?
4 to 5 dislikes when I said that. Stop lurking in the shadow, motherfuckers, and show your face in the
bring
chat.
your punk ass on. We want to talk to you guys. All right, stop being a little pussy and come on and talk to us because you know what we're saying right now will flame the fuck out of your argument.
Ay, me duele el corazón.
Let's continue with the list of guys that he could have fought. Right, we talked Tevin Farmer. Let's talk Gary Russell Jr. A fight that could have happened that never happened. Right, both PBC guys too. Never happened. Do we have to go? Do we have to go now to Lomachenko, a guy who they were talking about for years? Tank ran from this dude like Forrest Gump. He ran all the way across the country and shit, But now all of a sudden that doesn't matter. Now avoiding fights don't matter. I'm putting him in the top 5. Full of fucking shit, man. Full of fucking shit.
Es que me duele mucho.
And let's talk about this. I remember
it's not Tank, it's Floyd.
Yeah, I remember these same guys were saying shit like this. Man, if Teofimo moves up to 140 and fights Josh Taylor, he's going to be ducking all the smoke at 135. Well, isn't Tank ducking all the smoke at 135 now? He done jumped over and went to 1. He did exactly what you were accusing Lopez of doing, which Lopez is not doing. But he pretty much did that. He jumped up and fought for a Mickey Mouse title instead of fighting for undisputed, which Teofimo could have done. But you called that a duck. So I guess he's ducking all the smoke at Haney, Garcia, Lopez, Lomachenko, Comey, whoever else, Fortuna, all those guys, right? He's ducking all those guys too. Keep your shit consistent, man. All right? That's all we're saying. All right? And by the way, Tank is not pound for pound. No. He's not. And if he continues his career this way, he will never make the top 10 pound for pound. Never. I'm sorry, man. The truth fucking hurts. I know it. And guess what? I don't give a damn if it hurts your feelings. Okay? Because over here, we keep this shit real and we keep it consistent all the time. All right?
Man, we keep it so consistent over here. We be hurting feelings, bro. That's what it is. That's what it is. And let me just tell you something. Here at HCP, well, we don't throw personal shots at people.
Nope.
We just keep it boxing, and people still get their feelings hurt. They still get their feelings hurt. They still get their that's what happens. I'm just giving you facts. Now, here's a fact for you, okay? Just tell me one guy that Tank has ever beaten that was the best guy in his division. Name me one name. One name. I just want one name.
Can't do
Give
it.
me one. You can't do it. You just can't. Because you know he hasn't done it, right? Name me one guy that was considered number 2, the second best in his division, that Tank has beaten.
Can't
Name
do
me
it.
one. I
Can't
want
do
one name. Give it to me. You know what? Let me do you better. Name me one guy they could argue was the third best in the entire division that Tank Davis has ever beaten. Name me one guy. One. You can't do it. You just can't do it. You can't do it. Okay? So, you know what this is? An F. Give me an F. Give me an A. Give me an X. Fix.
Facts. We'll give you that one.
Fix on
We'll give you that one, African G. Pedraza. That was a good win, but that was a long time ago.
No. But like, listen to what I said, guys. They can't name me one number 1 dude in the division that he's faced. You can't name me one number 2 guy in the division he's faced, and you can't name me one number 3 guy that he's faced. You can't. Pedraza was a number 3 in the division, or 2 or 1. He wasn't. Okay. Pedraza's the dude that elite guys beat. That's who Pedraza is. Okay. That's why he already lost to Cepeda because Cepeda's better. Okay. That's the level of guy that's Tank. Is that Tank's best win? You know what I mean?
It could be. It could be.
It's a good win, but again, that's not like Joe Abib likes to say, the iron. He's never fought the iron, guys. He's never done it. So don't get mad at me about that. And you want to give Tank a pass about, go get mad at Floyd about it. Because he already told you to your faces, even though you're paying customers, even though you're spending money on Tank, he already told you to your faces he's not going to fight anybody outside of the PBC stable. And Progress ain't the first choice. I can promise you that right now. And I'll be the first one to come on here and say, you know what, I was wrong. I'm surprised he's going to fight Progress if he actually does it. I doubt they put him in the ring with Regis Progress. I doubt it. I doubt that's his next fight. I doubt it.
They won't do it, man. And like I said, he crossed the street, right? Isn't that the saying? You got to cross the street. Well, he crossed the fucking street, and he still can't get the fight.
Yep.
He still can't get the fight.
Can you put that image back on really quick?
So there's no guarantee that if you cross the street for PBC that you're going to get the fights that you want. It's just not a guarantee.
Look at that beautiful moonsault. He just moonsaulted all over all the competition at 130 and 135 pounds. Look at that beautiful moonsault, G-Funky. He just did that beautiful moonsault right over all the best competition, and he got dudes out here acting they're just giving him the accolades. Well, he would beat him anyway, so we don't got to see the fight. He's Tank Davis. He would beat him anyway. No. That's not how we do it in boxing. You got to actually do it. Okay.
Yep.
What if Chavez just said, it's Frankie Randall. I'll beat him anyway. Who cares?
Meldrick Taylor, I don't need to fight him, bro. I'll beat him anyway. I don't
gotta fight him for what? For what? For what? Fight him for what? That's not how it works.
Yeah, and I mean, look, we understand this, African G. If he isn't gonna fight anybody outside of the PBC, let's think about who's there. I mean, Isaac Cruz. He's gonna fight him next. Again, nobody knows him. Are they gonna pull Abner Mares out the booth? I mean, he's kind of known. He's kind of a well-known guy. I'm hearing Mikey Garcia.
That's a good win. That's
could
a good
be
fight.
could be a guy. That's a possibility. Although Mikey seems like he's chasing after a Pacquiao fight, for whatever reason. But
good luck with that, brother.
Yeah, Floyd's putting up roadblocks, man. Okay, and we got to call his ass out for that too. If you guys want to talk shit about Top Rank, you want to talk shit about the Zone, Matchroom, whatever you want to call it, then you got to talk shit about Floyd. Come like, we in the business of working smarter. We ain't gonna work harder. We ain't gonna make nobody else's company great. We gonna keep everything in house. We got plenty of guys to fight here.
Motherfucker, I just want to see the fights, motherfucker. If a dude's in another company, that's the fight I want to see. Do you fucking understand me right now?
Yep.
Do you understand me? That's the fight I want to fucking see.
And when he says that, guess what? The fanboys are like,
I like that. Oh, that's it. Bathe the Sifmeister. Oh, that's great.
oh, they love that. They love counting Floyd's pockets. I mean, I'm seeing guys on social media, like, oh my God, look at Floyd's jewelry, this and that, and my boy Tank's making money. And she's like, you sound like a woman, bro. You sound like a woman. That's like something that a woman would say, like, my man got to have all the money. I'm not going to be a fan of this guy unless he's got money. I'm not going to be a fan of this guy unless he's got jewelry. You know, like, what kind of punk shit is that, man? Like, this is boxing, motherfucker. This is the most masculine sport that we got. And you want to act like a little bitch and talk about a guy's money. You know, like, that's just ridiculous, man. Fucking ridiculous, man. So, I mean, it's just funny to me, man. The propaganda for this guy is just off the charts, man. All right, and we're not going to see any of these fights. We're not going to see him fight Lopez, Loma, Garcia, Haney. If he goes back down to 130, he's not going to fight Shakur. He's not going to fight Valdez. If Burchelt stays there, he's not going to fight Burchelt. Colbert is a young up-and-coming guy who's looking pretty good. I doubt they make that fight at 130. Again, all the list of the guys that we named off that he could have fought before, he's probably not going to fight those guys again, or I shouldn't say again, but ever. So I don't know, man. Like, I'm just tired of it, man. I'm tired of, and I like Tank. I've said this before. I said this in my Leo Santa Cruz prediction that I've been a fan of Tank. He's entertaining, yes, very entertaining, but it's getting to the point now where I'm tired of seeing him fight guys that are overmatched. I'm tired of seeing him fight guys that are handpicked. I want to see this guy in a true 50-50 fight, if not an underdog, okay? And I'm sick and tired of you guys talking shit about Lopez, going around, well, Lopez ain't going to fight nobody. Like, what are you talking about? This guy fights everybody. He's fighting guys in the top 10 consistently. He beat the best lightweight in the world, okay? So what the fuck are you talking about? When is Tank gonna fight somebody like that? When is he like these guys say, when is he gonna fight someone the best guy in the division? When? You know?
Like you could argue that Teofimo Lopez cleaned out his division. Like he beat the number one guy, Lomachenko. He beat Comey, was a top 5 guy. He beat Nakatani, who many were saying was a top 5 guy. Okay, Magdaleno was a top 10 guy. Like what do you want from the dude? He's about to fight someone who's another top 10 guy. I mean, he's fighting this level opposition guys all the fucking time. Yeah, I got to hear channels out here say things like, when is Teofimo Lopez going to do what Tank just did right here? And step up and fight somebody like Mario Barrios. Like, you know, and again, and I have to say this. Because it has to be said. It's not about Mario Barrios. Mario Barrios is just a fighter, guys. Okay? He's just showing up. He's doing his thing. That's it. But Mario Barrios has not earned the status that these other guys have earned. It's disrespectful to not just Josh Taylor, who became undisputed, but to Ramirez, who collected 2 of those belts, to Cepeda, who contested against Ramirez, to the Postos, who contested against both.
Maurice Hooker.
Yeah, Maurice Hooker. It's disrespectful to the Baranchiks, and all those guys all fight each other, right? Which eventually led to a Supreme Progress. It's disrespectful to Progress who participated in all that. And it led to an undisputed champion. Tank nor Barrios had anything to do with that.
Right.
Nothing.
I want to answer this.
Shout out to Barrios had anything to do. Shout out to the moonsault. You know, it reminded me of this guy.
Ray Mysterio.
There goes Tank. Moonsault. Staying away from the 135. That's what it's all about. Like, you know what I mean? Like shout out to Tank there.
I want to answer this question there from African G. He says, do y'all think that Tank is scared of them, or is Floyd not wanting to put him in with the best? No, I don't. Here's what I'll say. I don't think that fighters are afraid. I just don't. These guys, this is their job. Their job is to fight. I think Floyd has a lot to do with it, you know? Our problem is this. The propaganda is our problem, man. You know, just call it what it is, and we'll be fine with what he's doing. But just call it what it is. And you know what else I'm getting sick and tired of hearing? I'm getting sick and tired of hearing, well, Tank stops heavyweights in sparring. Well, first off, fuck sparring, okay? We don't give a fuck about sparring around here because that shit don't count, motherfucker. Okay, it just doesn't. And even if he is doing that, let's just say he is doing that, right? Which I don't think he is, and I'm gonna tell you why I don't think he is. Because if he was stopping heavyweights and sparring, then why the fuck are they putting him in there with the best fighters at 140, 135, and 130 if he's beating up heavyweights and sparring? It's bullshit.
Man, ain't nobody.
It's bullshit.
Ain't nobody believing that, bro. What the fuck?
These guys believe that shit. He's beating up heavyweights, bro. He's knocking them out.
By heavyweight, they mean like a 200-pound broner that's been eating potato chips and shit for 3 months. And that's what they mean by heavyweight, maybe, but we ain't beating up no heavyweights, brother. I mean, I'm hearing stories that Devin Haney was getting the best of him in sparring over there in the Mayweather gym. So, but then again, that's another dude.
Money. Yeah, shout out to H Money.
That's another guy with tall tails. You know what I mean? But he got the best of you there, Tank. He got the best of you with the tall tails. He's the master of the tall tales when it comes to sparring. You know what I mean?
Yep. So I don't want to hear this shit about guys being too big, Taylor being too big, or anybody else being too big. If this guy's taking care of business and sparring against heavyweights, then there should be no issue.
Hey,
there should be zero issue.
What about Tank Davis in WWE, bro? Like he could do a nice moonsault. Like, you know what I mean? Like that was a good moonsault, bro. It was like, good landing. The technique was good. Like I don't know, man. Like I think we might see Tank Davis in WWE landing a moonsault on a dude or two. You know what I mean?
Maybe, man. But I'm just gonna say this, man. This is the last thing I'm going to say about this. Somebody was to come up to me and ask me, is Tank Davis pound for pound top 10 or top 5 now? Jeez. After this win over Mario Barrios? This is my answer.
Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no, no, no. Hell no, no. To the no, no. Hell to the no, no. To the no, 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 no. Hell to the no, no. To the no, 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 no. To the no, 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 no. No, 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 no. To the no, no. To the no, 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 no.
Hell, me duele. And we gotta do like a remix, like hell nah. Ay, me duele. Nah, nah, nah. Hey, Loma, can you throw that right, that straight left? Can you throw your jab? Hell nah. Ay, me duele. Hell nah to the nah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, remix it, guys. Some dudes out there that can remix it. Just saying.
Another good question there from African G. Y'all think Floyd is jealous of Tank? It seems to me like he's always trying to steal Tank's spotlight. I think there is. I think there could be. The fact that he was, screaming instructions. And let's talk about that for a minute before we wrap this thing up. What did you think of him shouting instructions as if he's in the corner of Tank? Like he's a second or a third or something like that. He reminded me of one of those crazy soccer moms out there yelling at their kids like, God damn it, you better score a fucking goal or I'm not taking you out to ice cream after this game. Like some of that bullshit. If I was Calvin Ford, I would have told Floyd, shut your fucking mouth and let me do my goddamn job. Get the fuck out of here is what I would have told his ass. You're going to fire me? Fire. I don't give a fuck. But this is my fighter. I brought this kid up from day one, not you. Okay? This is my fighter. This is my job. You don't like it? Fuck off is what I would have told his ass. All right. But from what I seen, he didn't say shit. Now I understand like, oh, well, Floyd pays him or whatever. Look, whatever the case may be, I don't give a fuck. Okay?
You know what Calvin Ford should have told him?
What's that?
Play the theme again.
Which one?
Like, oh, hell no.
Oh.
Hell no. To the
That's what he should have told him. Hell no. Get the fuck. Bro, that could confuse a fighter. Like, he's getting instructions, and then you're telling, and then he's like, what? Like, okay, the first one made no fucking sense. All right. So Floyd wanted to tell him that it was behind on the unofficial scorecards, right? I question if you could even do that. I never stopped and thought about it like that. But I don't know if you could do that, even though it's the unofficial. I don't think you should be giving out like what people are scoring the fight to your fighter, because the corner doesn't know. Like when
Right.
they're in there, like like I think they should be secluded from everything else. Ain't nobody telling Mario Barrios he's ahead. Like, you don't think Mario Barrios could have used that information? Like I'm ahead. Oh shit, maybe I could take off a round. Maybe I
Yeah.
can take a round off. Maybe I don't be as aggressive in this round, and get an extra breather or whatever it is, right? Dude, have you ever seen like when the mouthpiece comes off or something like that, and they go to wash it, and what's the first thing the ref tells? He says, "No instructions. No instructions. Just wash the mouthpiece, put it back in. No instructions, right? Hey, fix the tape. No instructions. Just fix the tape." You get penalized for that, right? There's only 3 people allowed in the corner, right? And it might sound like a small thing, but even Tank's admitting that Floyd telling him that made him get a little more aggressive or something, right? So that's number one. First of all, I felt it was completely uncalled for anyway. I don't think it made a difference in the fight. Some could argue otherwise, but it's just Floyd being Floyd. He's a narcissist. He wants attention. He wants to take attention away from Tank. And I personally think it's bullshit. And then the second time, he goes in there, he's like, next time you hurt him, go to the body. Like, bro, like every trainer says that. Everybody knows that. That's common knowledge for the most part. You know what I mean? And I feel Tank was going to the body already. But the fact that Floyd told him, now he gets to take the credit, like, oh, that's why he beat him. That's why he got the knock, because I told him.
Wasn't for me, he would have never went down to the body.
Exactly. Like you're taking away credit from his trainer. Like, if you want to be his trainer, you know what I mean? Then be his trainer. He shouted Val Venus on HCP is war in the chat. You know what I mean?
Val Venus in the house.
But yeah, that's funny. But I will say, look, at the end of the day, I don't think he should be. Like, if you want to train him,
train him.
Bro, has to be the chief second. Maybe you don't even have to train him. If you want to be the corner man, okay, cool. Like I seen Rhodes do that. Rhodes isn't in camp with all these fighters, but he'll be in the corner for advice and stuff. Or, I've seen Russ Amner's like a chief second at times. Sometimes just a cut man. That's cool. Like if you want to do that, do it then, bro. Put on that towel. You know what I mean? And your T-shirt, TMT. And Tank Davis, whatever. And you can give all the instructions you want, and there's no controversy about it. But if you're not going to do that, then sit your ass down, dude. Go sit down somewhere. Stop looking like Mr. T with all those fucking chains, bro. What the fuck's going on?
Man.
Like, I get it. They're robbing your house, so you don't want to leave them at the house. You got to wear them all. I get it. Okay, but dude. Like, stop, bro. Stop.
Exactly.
Dude looks like his dad already, bro. He looks like he aged like 10 years.
Well, he's got pubic hair on his beard and on his head, and it's just weird as fuck. It's weird as fuck, man.
Is it true that he's got pubic hair? Is that true?
I don't know. I mean, if he couldn't grow a beard and he was going bald, then where else are they getting it from? His armpits? I mean, his legs? I mean, I don't know where else they would get the
if you don't mind me saying this right now, just to everybody, man, we're at 46 likes, man. This is the first HCP on Monday. Let's get a 50 likes. You know what I mean?
Get them
50
up, baby.
Is what it's all about. That's the goal. I want to say 50 likes. All right. So for those watching on your cell phone right now, all right, if that's what you're doing, okay, it looks like something like this, right? It'll look something like this. All you got to do is press that X right here. Brings it down, and you could hit the like button right there. Boom, and then after that, press the chat again. It'll pop back up. Give us those likes. That's what it's all about.
That's the best way to support the channel. Hit the like button. It's free. Takes a couple seconds to do. Just go ahead and do it. But I just want to say this, man. I think it is disrespectful to Calvin Ford, a guy again who brought this kid up from a kid, literally from a kid. Brought him up to this point, trained him this whole time, and now Mayweather wants to step in and steal some shine. Like I said, man, I've seen it in other sports where coaches have said, you know what, I can't take it no more. Like my favorite football team, the Dallas Cowboys, right? We went and hired Bill Parcells at the beginning of this decade, who's one of the best coaches to ever coach in football, right? He had to walk away and say, you know what, I can't deal with this guy, Jerry Jones. He's too involved. He thinks he knows what the fuck he's talking about. When he doesn't, I can't deal with this guy. He's not letting me do my job. He's not letting me coach the team. I'm the head coach here, not you. That's what Calvin Ford should have told Mayweather right there. Look, man, this is my job. Let me do my job. You go sit down with your fucking gold chains and your fake fucking beard, all right, and just sit there and do whatever it is that you do, okay? But this is my job. This is my fighter, and no, I'm sorry, and it is what it is. You're gonna fire me, whatever, all right? But this is my fighter here, okay? It's again Mayweather being the glory hound, you know.
By the way, did you see his at the press conference how he was saying that he was the dude, this is what the dude goes. He goes like Leonard is up there. He's like, oh yeah, you know, Tank is the most exciting, you know, boxer in the sport. You know, I'm telling you guys, you know, Tank's great. And then Floyd cuts him off. Yeah, but who's the best bank robber? Who's the best bank robber though?
Oh my God.
Oh, you are Floyd. Of course you are. Like he's got Leonard Allerby faking the laugh, and you got some people in the media like faking the laugh, like fight hypes there. That's what we are now, dude. You got dudes that want access. They want access to Floyd. They want to be yes men in the media, and then they're doing these fake laughs. When like you gotta laugh when the dude's not funny. That's when you know like you giving up all hope,
man.
right?
That's
like you giving up all hope. I'm the best bank robber.
You telling me he did? You telling me he did the Kawhi Leonard laugh? Remember this right here? That was Ellaby, right? Who's the best bank robber, Ellaby?
Who sold the most pay-per-view? Who made $100 million against a YouTuber? Huh? Who's the best?
You did, Floyd. Man.
Who the best ever? Who beat more world champions than anybody in history? Who?
You, Floyd.
But check it. I did a legalized bank robbery. You know what I mean? Leonard Allerby. Who did the legalized bank robbery? Legalized bank robbery in a sparring match. Who did that? Who did that, Leonard?
Oh, you did, Floyd.
That's what that sounds like, bro. It's ridiculous, dude. Ain't nobody give a fuck about you. Ain't nobody give a fuck about you, dude. Like Leonard, like Allerby has no shame. No shame, dude. This guy's got no shame.
Yeah, none. Yeah, the whole thing is just, I mean, the propaganda is out of control after this fight. Look, just call it what it is and everything will be cool. Lion Killer in the house. What's going on, man? Appreciate you for stopping by. You guys, if you're not subscribed to Lion Killer, subscribe to Lion Killer. Good channel. You know, it keeps it real, just like us. And you know what I like about Lion Killer the most is that, you know, we don't agree on everything. But that doesn't stop him from coming around and supporting the channel. It doesn't stop us from going around and supporting his channel because that's how men are. You know, that's just how men do it, you know, and it's all right to disagree.
But
sometimes,
check it out,
you know?
check it out, Leonard. I made 30 million off my trunks. I made 100 million off the pay-per-view against a YouTuber. You know what I mean? I robbed the bank, Leonard. Right, Leonard? I robbed the bank.
Oh yeah. So hey, and look, check it out. He just said he had Kelly Pavlik and Glenn Johnson on. So you guys check that out, man. Check out the interview there. He has Nate Campbell a lot of the times with him too. Nate Campbell's very entertaining, you know. But we're gonna have to wrap this thing up, man. It's getting late. We're almost at that 2-hour mark. And I gotta be up 4 a.m. So I gotta get my sleep, man. You know, I'm old school, man. I'm almost 40. I'm choking the hell out of 40, man. So I gotta get my sleep, man. You know what I'm saying? But I want to say again, I appreciate everybody being here. The new day, Monday, HCP Monday Night Uncensored. G Funky is now known as Mr. Monday Night around these parts. All right. So, D-Style, my man, you got any last words you want to say before we wrap this one up, man?
Nah, man, I'm glad to be here. A lot of stuff offline was happening, but nothing was going to stop me from being on this first HCP on Monday. And I got to say, man, I think Monday night's going to be interesting. You know what I mean? They're going to be interesting, and a lot of crazy nights of boxing coming, you know, that we're going to, be able to talk about. So Hispanics causing panic is war. All right. That's right. It is war tomorrow. Hispanic Causing Panic podcast. I'm waiting for a guest. I just need to get confirmation, prospect. And once I get that, I love interviewing the prospects and stuff to get them on, interview them, talk to them. And, we'll have some topics for you guys. We'll talk some more boxing and all that good stuff, man. But hey, this D-Style, keep it boxing, guys. Always.
That's right, man. And again, thank you all for being here on the new night, Monday nights, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern. We're going to continue to drop fire, man. And again, tomorrow night, HCP podcast on D-Style Boxing Channel. Go over there and subscribe to him. If you're new, subscribe here. Subscribe to D-Style. Subscribe to Maestro, who was on before us. Big shout out to him for letting us come on and join him on the last segment. Tomorrow night, I believe we might have Christine Lopez doing the Women Crushing It Wednesday. We have to make sure that that's going to happen, but subscribe to Leave It in the Ring with Christine here on YouTube. Don't forget the Roundtable and Calix Boxing. Also, Power Puncher show with D-Style. And then also, don't forget, tomorrow night after the HCP podcast, we have A Chile Boxing.
Tengo heartburn.
Yep. At A-Rod 83 Boxeo here on YouTube. Subscribe to his channel as well. So we're going to wrap it up here, man. This was a good show. And again, thank you guys. And make sure you're there tomorrow night for... We're going to get out of here before D-Style's arm falls off. All right. But again,
wrong arm. Hey, really quick, you know what Loma reminded me of? It's like, when a wrestler has to sell like the shoulder injury because they've been working the arm the whole match. And at the end of the match, you're like, yeah, like, they're holding the arm up. And, you know what I mean? They put the strap on, no problem. Like, bro, you got to sell the injury. That's how I felt about Loma, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it was injured. Oh, wow, interesting.
Sell that shit. Sell that shit,
Get salad, brother.
So again, thank you guys for joining us. Mr. Monday Night, Hispanics Causing Panic, Uncensored. And we will see you guys tomorrow night on the HCP podcast. We are out.
Shout out to Hispanics Causing Panics.
Shout out to Hispanics Causing Panics.
Hispanics Causing Panic. I'm glad to be here.
Hispanics are causing panic, baby. Let's do it.